So Xbox is dropping 10 awesome Game Pass games for this August you guys don't want to miss, and we're going to start this off with Ghost Recon Wildlands. This is available today via Game Pass. This entry into the series dropped back in 2017, but to this day is still one of the best military-style shooters available to play. You're dropped in Bolivia where you or your team is set out to dismantle an extremely dangerous hostile cartel. Mission by mission, you'll be tackling all aspects of the cartel's operation, with hopefully ending up you taking out their head leader. Featuring a full open world capable of being completed with you and up to 3 players. But one aspect of this game I love is almost the sim-like experience you're getting with an ops team with you and your buddies or your AI teammates, where you can do things like sync shots, coordinate some really stealthy takedowns. But the gunplay in this game is super fluid, the story is very interesting, and for me this is a game that I'm very excited to have on Game Pass. It is available via the console, cloud, and PC. So Shenzhen IO is for those who love to program and engineer, and in this game you're going to be building circuits using a variety of components like microcontrollers, memory, logic gates, and even LCD screens. You'll be reading manuals to understand how to put it all together. You're going to be writing code and getting essentially fully creative testing your designs. Ultimately though, this game is in its simplest form just an open-ended puzzle game, so don't be too intimidated. This might be the most unique game on all of Game Pass to say the least, and for those interested, it drops on August 4th on PC. So Turbo Golf Racing will be available day 1 on Game Pass. This is an arcade sports style game that immediately you can tell draws its inspirations from Rocket League, but in a pretty different way, because instead of hitting a ball into a soccer/football net, you're actually driving your own ball into the final hole, only in a race against 8 other players. Your car will be capable of doing things like boosts, jumps, flips, and even flying, and there's even this ability to knock out your opponents with things like missiles or find secret tunnels to outmaneuver your opponents. So there's really a lot happening with Turbo Golf Racing, and honestly this might just be the next big hit alongside Rocket League. Turbo Golf Racing hits Game Pass on August 4th on consoles, cloud, and PC. So in a unique twist of sim-like builders, we have 2 Point Campus from the makers of 2 Point Hospital, only here you're building up the campus of your dreams, and it is essentially a simulation city builder type of title where building up that university from scratch is going to be somewhat daunting. From the buildings, the roads, the benches, you can even build clubs, gigs, societies. I mean, this game gets very deep, and really the ultimate point is to make a profitable college. So that means you're going to be hiring the teachers, the staff, but even as you're building it up, you can see your students really interact with everything that you make and build, and even get to know their own unique personalities as they explore your campus and they form bonds with each other. And one key aspect of this entire game is that all your students' personalities are randomly generated, so you'll be in charge of making those students successful and happy, which could be a tough task on the fly. For me, this is a game I'm absolutely looking forward to as it hits Game Pass on August 9th on console, cloud, and PC. So if you're in the market for an extremely deep RPG, Expeditions Rome's gonna fit that nicely. Here you play as a young Legatus whose father was murdered, forcing you to escape Rome and take refuge in a military campaign to subdue the Greek rebellion. Little by little though, you'll prove your military prowess, you'll get strong enough to where the people respect and even fear you, and this is a game that has a vast array of choices to engage many encounters. Will you decide to just fight with little words, or will you actually just talk your way out of the entire situation? Navigating the politics of Rome and the Republic is going to be key, but also showing that you're not weak will matter, which is why every single choice you make in this game will ultimately lead to what will become of Rome itself. The combat in this game is turn-based, the characters are fully customizable, there's even crafting, there's going to be looting you'll need to do in order to gear up and try to gain an advantage. There's 5 different companions with their own stories, and there's just really a lot more under the hood. This game is quite insane, and not including all the regions you need to conquer and explore, the resources you'll be exploiting, recruiting your own army, and you can see why I said earlier this is a deep title, and it's set for August 11th on PC Game Pass. So Off-World Trading is a unique fast-paced RTS that actually doesn't involve combat, but instead is an economic-based title where your ultimate goal is to be the top trading company. The story's simple. Mars has been colonized and Earth's greedy corporations are set to face off to try and take over the resources that are available. Like most real-time strategy titles, you'll be building, taking advantage of your character's unique traits and abilities to build and sell and be at the very top. That includes taking out the competition by even buying them off when they're too weak. Offworld Trading Company is available on August 11th on PC Game Pass. So have you guys ever dreamed of becoming the ultimate chef? Well, Cooking Simulator is going to put you in the shoes of a master chef with a realistic kitchen equipped with tons of tools to get your cook on. We're talking griddles, cookers, gas stands, 80 recipes you'll be learning and unlocking using over 140 ingredients from meat, fish, fruits, veggies, dairy products, herbs, and spices. I mean, the list goes on. The game boasts that you are really getting a lifelike cooking experience, and it gets very serious, making sure the temperature is right on or you're going to burn the meat or the food. Of course, as a chef, you're running a restaurant, and the career mode is going to see you unlock even more recipes and even more perks and skills. Overall, it's a deep cooking experience, and if you're like me and you're terrible at cooking, this might be worth a try. Maybe we'll learn something, and if not, if you're an expert, well, then you're going to be right at home. This drops on Game Pass on August 11th for the consoles, cloud, and PC. So Midnight Fight Express is a game that might be the surprise hit of the month. Featuring a full-blown fighting isometric beat-em-up experience. Here you play as a former member of the criminal underworld who's been lured back into the world by an AI drone who tells you if you don't stop this mayhem, the entire city will be in a criminal-wide takeover. This is certainly a crazy story, but the game's gameplay and combat for me personally is what shines, featuring some crazy cool martial arts animations, some visceral over-the-top combos, mixed in with some crazy items that you can use like guns, explosive knives, sledgehammers. The game seems really cut out of something you'd see in an over-the-top movie. Midnight Fight Express also features 41 handcrafted levels, but there's extra challenges after you beat the game. There's even a create your own director's cut that lets you customize the enemies, weapons, and a lot more. Personally, I'm really hyped for this one, and we won't have to wait long as it drops on August 23rd on Game Pass. So from the creators of the game Her Story, we have Immortality. This is an interactive story that has you solving the mystery of what happened to Marissa Marcel, a film star who made movies but never saw a release, and she suddenly then disappeared. The gameplay is pretty simple. You'll be going through lots of footage, trying to essentially come to a conclusion on the mystery. If you're a fan of storytelling in games and you like movies but solving the entire thing yourself, then I think Immortality will be for you when it hits Game Pass on August 30th. So if you guys are familiar with the game Pikmin, you're going to be right at home with Tinykin as you play as Milo, who arrives on Earth to find that he's way too small, but that he's in 1991 of all years. But the big premise of this game is you're going to be catching hundreds of mysterious Tinykin, in which you'll use them to leverage their unique powers to do things like make ladders with them, create bridges, explosions, and a lot more. The game's story of being this like super small dude in this giant 1990s world is a mysterious story that has me really intrigued, mixed with the pretty cool environments, the clever puzzles this game has to offer, and it feels like this is a title worth keeping on your radar when it hits Game Pass on August 30th. With that, we do have some titles leaving Game Pass: Boyfriend Dungeon, Curse of the Dead Gods, Library of Ruina, Starmancer, and Train Sim World 2 all leave Game Pass on August 15th, and as always, you get a 20% discount if you guys want to buy those games before they leave. With that, check out the video on the screen for the best Game Pass games you guys don't want to miss in 2022.